Bossi, and I'm here chilling at home at House of Bossi, the artist residency, creation space, and concert series that I founded and designed with my husband Nico. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my new song that just dropped called Rule the World. This song is super personal for me and one of my favorites because it really tells my coming back to music story and what inspired that. It was my second time going through cancer. I had been through cancer once before, a few years prior, and was unfortunately diagnosed with a recurrence. And so, of course, the first time I underwent a double mastectomy, and the second time there was, the gamut of treatment from chemotherapy, as much radiation as they were able to give me, and other surgery, and then 5 years of hormone therapy to turn off my estrogen, and also these other infusions to strengthen my bones. Luckily, I am doing great. We have all the hope in the world that I have been cured of this, but it was a very challenging time, full of fear and trepidation about all of the treatments and not knowing how I would react to that. And so it was hard. It was a long, hard couple of years. It still is, but it inspired a lot of music, and it reminded me of how precious life is, and that life is far too short and hopefully far too long to be doing anything other than what we are most passionate about. And so this was one of the first songs that came out during that time. And it really started pretty simply. I was just sort of sitting down. I don't really play guitar. I'm starting to learn now. But, at the time, I only knew a couple of chords. And I still only know a couple of chords. But I was sort of playing with this little riff, like... And I kind of dug that. And I just started singing. I could have ruled the world by now. I could have ruled the world. I could have ruled the world by now. I could have ruled the world. Anyway, and I played it a little better than that. But I started, sort of thinking about that. Like, those were the first words that popped into my brain. I could have ruled the world by now. I could have ruled the world. Literally, those were the first lines of the song. And at first, I sort of thought, wow, that's kind of sad. I've never thought of myself as having regrets, but maybe I do, actually. And one of those regrets was that I didn't make enough art. I had stopped doing music for a number of years and built a career in something else because that's what felt safe and practical. But when faced, sitting on the other side of that doctor, I realized that what my heart really cared about was art, was making music. And so, this song really sort of brought all of that to light. And, the lyrics, I think, really say a lot, because, the first verse I love, shine your love on me, Mama, I could use some reprieve. The hands of fate nearly broke me. I fell right on my knees, but I saw light in the distance, the shimmer of a dream. And, it's pretty straightforward. It's about just being kind of knocked on your knees by life and knowing that the only person that you can truly go to is your mom. You just need that motherly love to heal you and to get you back up on your feet again. And just sort of, there were moments where I just fell into my mom's lap crying, just, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I have so much to live for, so much to love. And so that's what that first verse is about. But also knowing that, I could still see in the distance that I had unfinished business. That shimmer of the dream was still there. And with some perspective, I realized that this was a happy song. This wasn't, I didn't want this to be a sad song. I'd come to terms with some of these regrets. And, I wanted it to feel as optimistic about the future as I felt, when I moved during that time here to California, and all of the sunshine that was just radiating through me, and all of the love and all of the will to live. And so, I really wanted that to come through in the song. And so it got happier as I began to play it. And the second verse, I think, is quite special too, because it kind of goes back into remembering how much we knew as a child, right? Life sometimes sort of steers us in other directions, and these other outside voices influence what we sort of know deep inside. And so the second verse being, when I was just a girl, Mama, I had a string around the world, and I threw down the gauntlet. I knew who I wanted to be. Ain't it funny? It took something dark to make me see. And that's one of my favorite lines in the song is, ain't it funny, it took something dark to make me see. So often we label these times in our life, like going through cancer, as negative, and it was by so many definitions. But it was also beautiful too. It was the impetus that reminded me that, how high the stakes are here in this world. That life is so very fragile, and we just have no time to waste. And so, this song kind of reminded me that I needed to rededicate my life to what I loved. And so you hear the transition in that bridge of, but I'm all in now, and Mama, I'm going to make you proud. How important it is that we, show our parents, what we're capable of too. And we want to make our parents proud, and, and sort of saying too, don't worry, you don't need to worry about me, Mom. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to figure this out. I've found the thing in this world that brings me joy, and I'm going to chase it. I'm going to get it, And so finally, of course, the choruses, the first two start with, maybe if I'd lived a little sooner, I could have skipped the pain. Maybe if I'd worked a little harder, I'd be making it rain, and I could have ruled the world by now. It's sort of like, God, if I had brought all this sort of gusto to my life prior to going through cancer, what would have been different? Would I be ruling the world by now? Would I be doing everything I had ever dreamed of? But you get to the bridge, and it's like that realization that it's never too late. We're still here. Every day is a gift, and we're going to get it now. And I'm going to rule the world right now. I'm going to rule the world. I'm going to rule the world. So, that is how this song came to be. And I met, when I moved here to California, I met the producer of the song, Aric Damm, who I just could not love more. He is just the greatest human, and he's so cool and just so fun. He's the lead singer of an incredible band that you should check out immediately called The Brevet. And I met him because at the time he was also partly training at a gym down in Orange County where my parents lived. And he was so kind when I, started moving out here. I was visiting my parents a lot. Coming from New York between chemo treatments. And he said, if you ever want someone to work with you, to train you a little bit physically, to help you recover from the cancer treatments, I would be happy to do that. You just say when, and I'm here if you need it. And I was so touched by that. And we got to talking about music, and I said that, I would, I'm actually kind of getting into this world again myself after some years away, and would he be willing to meet me for coffee and talk to me about his career, his trajectory. And so he of course said yes, and we did that, and we had this incredible coffee conversation at Pete's Coffee, and we were just talking about music, and he was so open and so generous. And then he said, I'd love to play you some of my new demos that we haven't released for the band yet. And so we sat in his car, and he was playing me these songs, and I was like, I love them. This is so awesome. Who produced this for you? And he said, I produced it myself. And I was like, really? Well, have you ever produced another artist? And he said, no. And then, I said, well, maybe we should try that, as an experiment, one song. We see what happens. If it works well, great. Maybe we talk at that point. And if not, no hard feelings. We can still be friends. And I love the band, of course. And so he was like, yeah, okay, that sounds great. And yeah, I'd been talking to a couple other producers at the time. And it's funny, I had this song, Rule the World, and everyone passed over it. Everybody was like, I don't know what to do with that one. And Aric heard it, and he was like, I know exactly what to do with that song. And that's a great song. And so we started working on it, and I'll never forget, like when he sent me the little intro with that ooh, and those washy guitars. And he was like, what do you think about the direction? Is this vibing with you? Like, let's get together and we can, kind of build it out from here. And I was like, oh my word, I absolutely fucking love it. Like, this is it. This is everything. This is everything I've been trying to get to for so long, and I don't know what it is, if it's, because I'm a girl, I have a pretty voice, or, people kind of tend to steer my music in another direction, but it's like, God, I keep trying to sort of get to this place, and you've nailed it on the first go. And so, history was made. We have done so many songs together since this time, and he is always such a joy to work with. And we kind of really found the sound for Bossi, is this sort of, upbeat kind of, a little bit of a toughness, but, kind of a rock, pop, folk rock with a California spin and a little bit of vintage flair in there. And that sort of is, it's evolving, of course, like all artists' work do, but it was really that session together in doing this song, Rule the World, that was the beginning of everything. And so this song, it means so much to me. And I'm so excited that so many people are loving it and listening to it. I mean, you have no idea what that means for an artist. Like, we put so much of our heart, our soul, our tears, our personal experience into making this music and trying to share it with the world. It's vulnerable, it's scary, and to have you guys say that you love it, to get the comments, that, people are inspired to change their life too, and to start, grabbing life by the balls. It's everything. It means everything. So thank you so much for listening. Keep streaming it. Hit me up with questions in the comments. Anything that you guys want to know, I am an open book. I'm happy to talk more about my cancer experience, about my personal journey coming back to music, about everything I'm trying to do at House of Bossi. I mean, so many conversations to be had. So please, ask away in the comments. I can't wait to chat with you guys. I can't wait to answer them. And I hope that you are ready to rule your world, because it's getting real. 2022, guys, there is no time to waste. We have so much to accomplish, so much good to do in this world. We need inspired people. We need hearts on fire, souls ready to live, to not waste another breath. So I hope you'll join me in ruling your world, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, what gender you are, who you identify with, who you love. You are worthy. You deserve all that, shimmering dreams in the distance. And I hope you take the song line along with you for the ride. So peace, I'm Bossi. Thanks for listening.